Let's look back at the great games. So no interest in those bad ones, only the great ones. That's what tonight's all about.
Goats of the 2025 games that we played that weren't remakes or remasters, and it's very strict criteria.
Yeah,
in this Game of the Awards, Game of the Year awards.
Whoa, nobody mentioned an exclusion of remakes and remasters, please. Where did this come from?
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 143 of High Scores, High Stakes, the podcast that's about honouring the games of the year gone by. I am, of course, talking about 2025. I'm your host, as always, Mr. Luvva, and with me are my co-hosts.
Well, Mr. Luvva, it's almost the time. Happy New Year, 2025. Let's look back.
Let's look back at the great games. So no interest in those bad ones, only the great ones. That's what tonight's all about.
Goats of the 2025 games that we played that weren't remakes or remasters, and it's very strict criteria.
Yeah,
in this Game of the Awards, Game of the Year awards.
Whoa, nobody mentioned an exclusion of remakes and remasters, please. Where did this come from? Oblivion counts, all right? No, it doesn't.
But yes, this is the now traditional High Scores, High Stakes Game of the Year episode where we definitively crown our own individual Game of the Years. And for the first time ever, we are crowning the listeners' Game of the Year as well, as collated via the medium of social media. It's a wonderful, wonderful time to be alive. It's a wonderful night. This is going to be a banger full of bangers. But before we get into all this Game of the Year chat, let's tell everyone who we are and what we do. Because as we are well aware of now, Cardinal, every episode is somebody's first episode.
We're supposed to say it together, Cardinal. We rehearsed this.
Yeah, Cardinal.
We didn't. Let's keep it tight. Come on, Luvva.
I mean, you didn't reply to any of the emails, so maybe you didn't see it, although I did get those read receipts. I'm keeping tabs on you. One more and you're out. But yes, who are we and what do we do? We are High Scores, High Stakes. We are the internet's only competitive PlayStation podcast, where myself, Cardinal Smith, and Tomahawk compete against one another in a PlayStation Gaming Challenge League table. Every week we pick a game and play a challenge in that game. Winner gets 3 points, second place gets 2 points, third place gets 1 point. Whoever tops the league after 12 weeks wins the coveted High Scores, High Stakes Cup. That is when we are in season, and season 6 is coming so very soon, you won't believe when it lands. When we're not in season, like right now, we run our side quest series, which is where we talk about everything gaming, everything PlayStation. It is like a brand new podcast in your ears every single week. And the last Monday of every month, well, that's easy too. It's Game of the Month Club, where we pick a game, play it for the month, and come back here and deep dive review it. The most recent one, Astrobot. If you haven't checked it out because of the Christmas holidays, do that now because it's an absolute banger. But don't do it right now. Let this episode play, complete it, then move on. Beautiful work. Now we're all on the same page. We've all caught up. This is usually when I ask you, what are you playing, gentlemen? I'm not going to ask you tonight because we're talking about the games that we've been playing all the way through 2025. And we are going to come to the end of this episode and crown our own individual games of the year. I am very excited to talk about my game of the year this year because it is an absolute banger. It is incredibly good. But before we get to that, I am not Jeff Keighley. This is not the Game Awards. We do not allow any Tom, Dick, and Harry to come in here and win Game of the Year. We have rules, and we strictly enforce them here at High Scores, High Stakes. As Tomahawk, Season 5, Episode 1. I rule this podcast with an iron fist. Here's the rules. First and foremost, the game must have released in 2025.
Not a
Number
real
2,
next.
we must have played that game. Number 3, we do not, I repeat, Cardinal, we do not allow remakes, re-releases, or remasters. They are null and void. And I never thought I would have to say this, and then Jeff Keighley went and ruined Game Awards last year. Standalone DLC, you'll be standing outside because you're not welcome here.
They are not full games.
So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is out of scope because it's a remake?
See, now it's a reimagining. It is not the same game.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is literally called Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I don't care what they call it. All right, I'm telling you.
It wasn't allowed in. Should High Scores, High Stakes have existed in 2020? I'm gonna say maybe before that.
And also,
to be fair, its origin stories did start in 2020, but that's a tangent.
It's not the same game as released in 1997. I will be happy to allow reimaginings. I did say remakes, re-releases. I didn't say reimaginings.
So Oblivion's out.
Oblivion's gone. Don't even bring it up here.
Tomb Raider 3, Tomb Raider 3, 4, or 5, 4, 5, and 6 is out as well.
Yeah, it's out, totally out. Tony Hawk's 3 and 4. Get out. See you later. Never liked you anyway. Hate you.
It's very strict. It's very strict criteria. It like narrows the pool a little bit, so we've had to like really access the well in this one for 2025 releases.
Yeah, well, we're here celebrating games that released in 2025. In my mind, remakes, remasters are games of a bygone era. They're in the past. They're gone. They're probably not even freely available to play legally anyway. So the developers don't want us to play it. The publishers don't want us to play it. They don't even want us talking about it. So we're not going to. That's the rules. Let's get into the conversation. Let's get into crowning some games of the year, gentlemen. Let's raise the curtain on this ceremony. Let's go. Obviously, though, we're not going to jump straight into my game of the year is. Let's talk about some of the games that we played that were great, that would have made the cut, but just fell short. So I will go first on this one, okay? Because I have been playing a lot of indie titles this year. Don't ask me why. I just have. And there was one game that I thought was going to definitely be in my top 3, and it is Void Maw's Cardinal. If you want to know what I thought of this game, the review is up on YouTube. Go check it out. But it is a really quite unique 2D action Metroidvania roguelite cosmic horror action slash light RPG.
There's a lot to fit into this. Yeah,
there is a lot to fit in.
Pretty stacked genre, like.
Yeah, it basically took all the best things from all of those genres and made it into a really coherent, really stylish action game, and it was really, really quite great. It was a very, very, very good game. I really enjoyed it. I liked the look of it. I liked the sound of it. I liked the design of it. Was it perfect? No. But what was there was great. And this is the work of a single guy making this game from scratch. It looked stunning. It played really well. It was difficult, but not brutally difficult. It took me, I think, in my playthrough of it, took me about 2.5 hours to go to do a successful run. And then when you come back, you can obviously new game plus it, you just up the difficulty, and the scaling of those difficulties is really, really smooth. It is more difficult, but you're not going to find yourself getting annihilated on the first enemy, if that makes sense. But no, Cardinal, I really enjoyed it. It's not very often, especially not in 2025, where you get a game that's just this inventive. And I think a lot of people, when they hear the word, creativity in gaming is gone, people think creativity means you come up with new ideas. That's not what creativity is. Creativity is either coming up with something totally unique that no one has ever seen before, or it is taking elements of other games that work really well and putting them together in a unique way to make a standout title. And Cardinal, for me in 2025, was a standout title. I really liked it, and it's just fallen short of what I would consider my top 3 for this year. So
that's a good start as well.
I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
keep the indie horror vibe going on this one, because way back in April, and I've got dipped into it a good few times now, I purchased a little survival horror game harking to the days of old called Post Trauma. I had a fun time playing this. It is very much as you imagine. It's the fixed camera angles. It's a lot of obscure puzzle based like navigation through typical horror locations. You've got a haunted school, you've got a haunted subway, you've got a spooky garden. It is just you can tell where these guys have. I had their developer name written in my notes here as well. You can tell that they're influenced by Resident Evil, Silent Hills, that kind of stuff as well. Like they made me sort of feel how Luvva would have felt playing Resident Evil for the first ever time. I felt warm and fuzzy playing this game, and I was like, this is nice and refreshing. It's not, you can't just crane the camera angle because you want to go and look around the corner. You're stuck with that perspective until you change the scene or until you move to the next room. The combat is, as you'd expect, is jank on the borderline of like, this character's not meant to be doing this, and it looks gorgeous, and even the influence doesn't sort of stop at just like gameplay and mechanics and stuff. Most of the characters are called Jill, Carlos, Chris, Roman is the main character as well, and it's just that typical. He's in a normal job, but he's like
he's the best in the world at it.
Yeah, but he has problems, and he's going to unearth those problems as we get through the title.
Love it. Let's go.
It is like, a small team putting this out, like, and it was it was good fun. I still like, it's one of those ones I've yet to finish, but only because some of the puzzles are really, really obscure.
Yeah. I love that.
But Post Trauma was one of my big shout outs for 2025.
100%. Cardinal?
Obviously, if it had been 2025, I would have, of course, gone with. I'm trying to remember the exact name of it. It's Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Obviously,
fantastic title. Yeah.
What a game!
An all-timer in the sporting category. Just physics, gameplay, replayability. Like that constant drive to just go back. I could do things better, and the advancement, it had none of those things. So I had to pick something else. Maybe from 2025 releases plan. And this is kind of not my game of the year, obviously. But one thing I've got to mention, and it's controversial, which is why it's not top, it's Civilization 7.
Okay, yeah.
This is one I saved up for, or a Steam credit, whatever, PlayStation credit.
And you did your jobs, your chores.
This is the only game this year I day one purchased.
Okay.
Right, new release, straight in, installed as soon as it was ready. I'm in. My grand strategy. I love my Civilization games, and it's had a rocky start to its life cycle, which is fine, because now they're changing the game and how it works entirely to be like a Civilization again.
Love it.
So once they fix it and provide all the stats you'd want and remove the changing your nation's culture from different nations through different eras nonsense, once that's gone, it's going to be great.
I want it pure Civilization.
Once it's back to being a Civilization game. It needs refinement rather than reinvention, but it's still at its core a new Civilization game that makes you click just one more turn, hit the next goes on to the next year. Okay, I'll keep playing. So that's why it's not top, but I still like it, and I still want to play it.
Yeah, so, and that's the main thing. That's the main thing. Yeah. So that it was. So our first honorable mentions, I was Cardinal, Civilization 7, and Tom's was Post Trauma. Lovely, lovely. Right, let's get into another round of honorable mentions in games that we really liked, but just fallen short. Okay, I have this spot for me is kind of torn between two games, and I'm leaning more towards Sword of the Sea.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it was torn between that and Ball Cross Pit. Like Ball Cross Pit, honestly,
so good. By the way, I picked the trial up for that, and I'm gonna back you what you said a couple of weeks ago. Awesome.
Yeah. So
for a silly little game that shouldn't be this fun,
it's so good.
It is this fun.
So yeah, it's a really late comer in my gaming calendar. So it is, but it's one of those games. I downloaded the demo off Steam, played about 3 or 4 hours of it, and went, okay, I've got to buy this. It was on sale because of the Game Awards. It was a nominee, and I'm loving it. It's a great game. The only reason it's not here, I can't in conscience give a game I've played 5 hours of a place over a game that came out earlier in the year that I completed from start to finish 2 or 3 times and I absolutely adored it, and give it an S tier in a Game of the Month episode as well. So Sword of the Sea is going to take this. I think Sword of the Sea, it did a lot of things that Journey did, and for my money, it did a lot of things better here than what Journey did it. However, it is not as good a game as Journey. I don't think it'll be as... It's not a cultural milestone like Journey was. And
yeah,
a lot of people in the reviews, and then this reviewed, I think it was low 80s. A lot of people in the review said it felt like Journey again. And I see that.
Journey Light. Yeah.
But I think what I liked about it was it felt like experiencing Journey again. It is a beautiful game that captured my attention almost as soon as it booted up. It looked beautiful. It sounded absolutely stunning. Austin Wintry.
Yeah, for the music, yeah.
The soundtrack, I know for the Game Awards, he said, because this was nominated for Best Score and Clair Obscur was not. And I know he said that he would gladly give up his nomination in order for Clair Obscur to get the nod on that. I think he's done himself a very massive disservice here, because the music in Sword of the Sea is absolutely stunning and is some of the best music I've heard this year in video games. It's some of the best music I've heard this year, full stop, not even in video games. This game I thought was a triumph in art and player agency and just allowing the player to explore and lose themselves in a gaming world. And it is just stunning. There's just things to see everywhere. And there is a lot of moments in that game where it will take your breath away and you will just to sit there and just look at a game and do nothing because you're simply in awe. It takes something very, very special to capture me like that. And Sword of the Sea is one of my favorite games of this year. I thought it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And for me, giant squid games they just can't miss. They just don't.
Oh yeah, that was it. I think I because I streamed it start to finish, just did the full playthrough in one sitting on stream, and I think at one point I called it like a Tony Hawk biopic. That's just what I felt like it should have been.
It's brilliant,
so good. Like it was awesome. It did, as you say, it felt kind of like Journey again. So it's not as compelling or heart wrenching or all the emotions and stuff, but it's still a great piece of art. It's still a great game. It was still a beautiful like setting.
Yeah, absolutely. See, I think it wasn't as emotional as Journey, because Journey's emotion was tied strictly to the narrative. All the emotion comes from the narrative and your connection to these other anonymous players that you meet as you journey through the game. I think this game is as emotive as Journey, but in a very different way. The story is the hero's journey here, but I think a lot of the emotions comes from the impact that I think I said this in the Game of the Month. You have a profound impact on the world of this game. By the time you leave a biome here, it is irrevocably changed. It looks completely different. It is teeming with life. It's teeming with color. It is different. And I think that you could almost reflect that onto yourself as a player. There's quiet moments in this game where you feel like it has made a change in you as well. If that makes sense. It's really corny and cheesy, but it does. It impacted me a lot, and it was just, look what I've done. Look how much of a difference I've made here, and I love that. I loved it. I think this any other year probably could have been easily my game of the year.
Yeah,
easily.
I know we were spoiled with 2025 for games. I think I think this is now where we're kind of getting fine margins, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's mine. Sword of the Sea is my second.
Great shout.
Because you said Sword of the Sea, I've had to pivot a little bit here. This is a game early doors. I got day one release on this one because I was strong armed by you lot and Sherry to get it. I had a lot of fun for the 20 hours I did play for it. Rematch, which apparently is now an unplayable sweat pit.
I mean, yeah, a season 2 dropped today. As we record this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Like what we played and I enjoyed thoroughly, but tailed off pretty quick. Like, it deserves an honorable mention because the game is to have fun, and we very much had fun when we played this game. I can the Twitch VODs can attest to that.
Some of our most successful YouTube videos have content.
Yeah. So top marks for that. It did something a little bit different, and then I think the people who still play it are people who don't actually play football and people who just want to win. If that means by breaking the game or if that means by just being just a sweaty player, it kind of fell off a cliff pretty sharp.
Yeah.
But credit where credit's due. It did something very different, and the hours we did put into it were very, very good.
To be fair, yeah, it is a game when it was new, I played a lot of, and I really liked it. But like a lot of these games of the service, there's professional streamers out there who have made this game their entire personality, and they've raised the skill ceiling so high that as a new player, I find this game impossible to recommend to a new player. If you're starting this, you're going to have a stinker of a time because
there are better, more accessible free-to-play versions of this game. Just play Rocket League, effectively. That's really where I was going to say.
Rocket League is far more accessible because it has a far bigger player pool, but it's not that much more accessible. I fell off Rocket League when the skill ceiling went into the stratosphere, to be quite honest. And it was the same here. Once I realized that this is a game that demands your time to get even remotely competitive in, I was like, I don't have the time for this.
I don't care enough to do it. Like, but I tell you what,
it's a great game.
It cost me effectively nothing to get. I got a free PSN voucher to do, so it paid for itself. Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing it. It is nowhere near my top game of the year, but I feel as if it needs to be mentioned at least anyway. Yeah. Cardinal, round off our honorable mentions here.
No, I love that.
It was very good.
I was really hoping you'd bring up Rematch because that felt like a Tomahawk pick. And my memory of it was finding like when we were playing it or practicing for season 5, or it was like I felt like the skill factor of other players overtook me within that first week of its launch.
Days of it happening. Like, people just, as Luvva said there, just made it their personality and just locked in and become sweaty over it. Like,
I was like a couple days late to the show,
and that was already
too late. You've missed the boat. So I think my second choice is, and it's an obvious one. Okay, let me bring you on board. It's a co-op shooter that really encapsulates a big game that came out, and you loot, I think, I don't know what else you do. And it's got so much depth and content and replayability, levels, characters, FPC, Firebrick. Just
what
awesome.
game.
What a game.
What
Top tier, S tier.
If anything, it's changed the industry.
Yeah, a variety of content in it is so understated, I think.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. This is sarcasm.
Oh, sorry, you have the sarcasm script. Sorry, you had us fooled.
Oh, we scrapped that script, sorry.
Oh, sorry, right, okay. I was hoping to be sponsored, but it doesn't matter. They're releasing Control 2. They don't need the money. My number 2 is a controversial one. I like to bend the rules on Give the Year picks. Like pick ones that weren't released in that year, things like that.
You've been told.
My game was released in 2025, but isn't being released on PS5 until April 2026.
My goodness.
Which wasn't specified.
That was not specified, to be honest.
It doesn't have to be a PlayStation 5 game. We'll lose the Sony sponsorship, but whatever.
No, this is coming. This is coming. But I've had the opportunity to play it, and that's why it's made my list. It's a game called Enshrouded. Now, this is, at high level, a survival action RPG, where it's co-op, where players explore a dark world, gather resources, craft, fight corrupted enemies. There's different parts of the map are inaccessible until you do this and that and get better and craft things. But the combat itself involves timing, positioning, skill use. It's a free roam, you shoot, at a target that's moving. It's not a, static, nothing static about it. Why I enjoyed this is because I don't know if anyone's played New Worlds, and I wish John Sherry was here, but New Worlds had a really nice combat and absolutely nothing else to the game. There was no game other than just combat and leveling up. This has actual roles, and skill trees that you can tailor your character to be in whatever path you want to choose, and it's quite in depth. And there's different paths within each role, so you can really tailor your play style. I'm sounding like a sales pitch, but I do recommend it. So you can be a tank, you can be a damage person, you can be a support like healer, or you can just ignore all that and sit and craft and build. Which, in terms of playing with friends, someone has to do all 4 of those, or like individuals, because you can't progress or get through. There's open world, there's battles, there's things to happen, but there's also little dungeons and things that it's a fun chaos, because there's no set, a battle is now starting. It's just you roaming. So, Tomahawk could have ran off in the distance and he's been caught by a big beastie. But you don't have the gear. Luvva's the one carrying the big gun that you use. Or, and I'm the healer, guys, you're going to die.
So there's like a real sort of co-op element to this, and it actually that's the intention, I suppose. Is this the game? Sorry, is this the game that Sherry bought? Put 1 hour into it. Oh, that's New Worlds.
That's New
and he said he was going to platinum it.
The best game I've ever played, and we should all play it. Yeah.
They've cut all the devs off it. They're not going to do any more updates.
It kind of this Enshrouded game kind of sounds a bit like is it Dune Awakening? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
Possibly. I haven't played.
Which is meant to be great.
Dune Awakening did look pretty good. I watched a few people stream that actually. I just was curious. I recently had watched the Dune movies and thought a Dune game wouldn't be the worst thing, and it's set in an alternate universe, an alternate timeline on Arrakis. So it looked well.
So Enshrouded, is that what it's called?
That's right.
And it's an MMO or just a 4-player co-op thing?
It's just a co-op.
Okay.
You can play it by yourself if you really want to, but its core is play with friends.
Play with friends. Okay, so that's an interesting one. I've never heard of it. It sounds pretty interesting. Would it run on my Steam Deck? Was the real question.
Yeah.
I might check it out. But yeah, that's an interesting one. So that is, does anyone have a third?
I have one more shout out before I move into my game of the year. Arrow 2.
Okay,
It came out on Xbox 2024, but the Black Void edition came on PS5 a couple of weeks ago, or middle of December there. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. So Wire Productions smashed it out of the park. Well done. Just came in too late to be, in my top 3, but a big honorable mention to them. Played it, loved it, still playing it.
Love it.
Yeah, honorable mention for me before we get to the final one, Baldur's Gate 3. I just think it's a big production, big actors, performances. Just too difficult. Just too difficult.
200-hour game is too difficult.
I've already mentioned my honorable mention. It's Ball Cross Pit or Ball X Pit, whatever you want to call it. Brilliant game. Even if you think it's not for you, play it because it's a good one. So I think we've done our honorable mentions and we have left everyone on tenterhooks to find out what we're going to name as our own individual game of the year. But I think we should leave them on those hooks just a little bit longer because we have the massive elephant in the room is, of course, what game have the listeners picked as their game of the year? But hold off, just not right now, Tomahawk, not right now.
Oh, not right
because
now.
Right now,
because I have the envelope.
Right now, we need to build the suspense even further by having a little music break. Okay, Tomahawk, you have the envelope. You have the power. You now have the floor, sir.
So I have, over the course of the last 2 months, it's safe to say, been collating the data, putting the shout outs on all the social medias, and we have the nominees for our High Scores, High Stakes Game of the Year Listener's Choice. Would you like to hear the nominations before I open the envelope?
I mean, if we don't hear the nominations,
yes,
how will we get excited?
How will we get excited? So, without further ado, the nominees for Listener's Choice are Ghosts of Yote, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Split Fiction, Blueprints, Kazan, the First Berserker.
Ooh.
And for some reason, Hook thought it was brilliant. Shout out to Hook, friend of the podcast, thought it would be a brilliant thing to say Halo 3 because he says there's been no other great game since Halo 3 was released. So for some reason, Halo 3 is included in these nominations now. So Hook, you are welcome.
Wow. It breaks every rule.
It broke every single rule. I mean, he also sent in the podcast a future thank you for when Halo 3 does in fact come to PlayStation. So
I love it.
Thank you for that, Hook. That was an interesting conversation. So without further ado, guys, the winner of Game of the Year Listener's Choice is Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
There we go.
And it won.
Wow.
By one vote.
Ooh. No.
It won by one vote. I will not tell you. I will not tell you what came in second place. Just for mystery.
I was going to say that I knew our listeners were smart people, but hearing that only won by one vote has
the rest. I mean, that also suggests that we had one voter.
Press X to doubt. But anyway, yeah, it's well a deserved
done, Clair
winner.
Obscur. You have won the inaugural High Scores, High Stakes Listener's Choice Award.
Look, that's the biggest prize
they've won. Well done, Sandfall. That's the best prize they could hope for.
It's the only prize that they're going to put on the Game of the Year physical edition.
On the Game of the Year cover, that's it. We're going to get a Clair Obscur Arkham City style cover with just our faces on it.
High Scores, High Stakes inaugural Listeners Game of the Year 2025. But yes, what a winner.
Things you love to see. Well, yes, thank you to everybody who messaged multiple times, even though the stipulation was one vote per game.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a good stack of replies, a good stack of interactions on that one. So yes, listeners, thank you. You all know who you are, who participated. So see you next year.
Yes. Okay, so now it comes down to just the trivial of us naming our individual game of the year. So who wants to go first?
I don't want to go first. I'm going to go. Actually, you know what?
I will go first.
Oh, yes, Cardinal Smith can go first then.
Okay, because I don't mean to make a mockery of this, but you know, I've previously said my game of the years have historically been Stray, Final Fantasy 16, which was the year before, and then Astrobot, which was incredible. I'm the only one who played it and mentioned the game of the year, so I won last year's game of the year effectively because that was the right answer. I think I've won it every year because it's the right answer. This year, however, I don't have that big AAA massive game that I play. My game of the year is that enough pause for suspense?
Absolutely,
that's a lot of pause for suspense.
I would say too much. That's going to have to be
highlighted the pause for suspense. Now you've lost us.
Okay, it's a game called Void Crew. This is another co-op game with friends, not just co-op play with your mates.
Hosts.
Podcast hosts, you could say, and it is on PlayStation 5 released. You can buy it. It came out this year. But it's my main pick because it's a co-op gameplay and crew management spaceship game where teamwork matters and every session's different. You start the game and it's a new career, essentially.
Okay. Yeah.
You pick a ship and there's different ships to choose from, like single, 2, 3, 4 styles player ships. And it is brutally punishing if you don't do things right. And everybody has their own role. Again, it's a bit like Uncharted, but you're in just your own spaceship. And you jump to different places that need your help. But everyone's got one role. So somebody is the pilot. Somebody is the gunner. One person's an engineer. Somebody might be a scavenger.
Okay.
So you can... Yeah, you can fly about. You can go out into space, collect a few things. The scavenger, the engineer always has to be on hand, repairing things, building things. Others can help in that role, but those people get perks and do things faster, better, more advanced. The pilot is such a role. And there's so much space fighting and like laser shooting and things blowing up in space and scavenging from that is just great. But
Void Crew, I'm going to have to keep an eye out for this one.
I kept going back to it.
Wow.
I kept being drawn back because it turns out it was actually fun and enjoyable and something I wanted to play, which is hard, which is sometimes difficult to find.
It is, yeah.
It's a game, it's fun, and I like to play it. Congratulations, Void Crew.
Incredible scenes. Well done,
2025 Game of the Year for Cardinal Smith. That is outstanding. For a game I've actually never heard of. I've had a quick look on the PlayStation Store. I've wish listed it. So who knows? It might come up in a little sale, and even at £25, that still sounds like quite a lot of game for that price point.
Yeah, it's not a like alpha release build. This is a polished working
ready to go
game,
version 1 effectively.
But
awesome.
Anyway,
I love it.
Who's next?
So yes, I'm gonna go next here. I'm going to go for a game that I'm going back to an indie title for my game of the year. I'm going for a one-man team that took 8 years to make this game. It was a PlayStation Plus day one release. It is probably vying for position in my top 3 of best games I have ever played. Never mind games in 2025. Wow. Blueprints.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've talked about this game. This game has just made me think about how indie games are played in story. And it's a roguelike deck builder effectively, at the end of the day. But the game evolves beyond that so much. Sherry pointed out in our PlayStation Wrapped Up, I've played that for 60 hours.
Yeah.
I have 2 achievements in that game.
Yes.
Like, I've got to end credits once, but that game effectively starts at end credits.
Okay.
There's so much more. So when you get to room 46, you claim the inheritance. More rooms come into your drafting pool. More story effectively like comes into play, because when you become manor of Mount Holly, or the Baron of Mount Holly, effectively you have to then go and find out the history of the family. There's like family members that had hidden lives and secret like agendas and stuff like that. There's like all these notes left around. You pick up the notes that say the handwritten notes are the truth, and notes that are written in red paper are false. Unlike if you're looking at this with a magnifying glass, you'll find little addendums on certain notes, and the game keeps growing and growing and growing beyond the fact that you've completed the game and done effectively what the only mission of the game is, which is go to room 46. I still dip into this. It's very much a game that you can play 2 runs, save it, turn it off, crack on with your life. But it always, you said it earlier about Void Crew, it brings you back. Something always hooks you in. There's enough of it to go, well, what can I discover this time? What run can I put together on this one? So I'm on to like day 120 or something like that. I've been doing a lot of runs, and I'm at the point now where I'm like purposefully putting myself into smaller loops that is not towards the end game, so I can open up newer rooms and different rare rooms and switch the rarity of those rooms with other rooms that I've chained together. Like, the game is just so complex, it's so dense, the story is so rich. I just keep coming back to it. There's just something special about this game. And the fact that it now has its own like speedrun category as well is just like evolved. People just make like we talk about making games your personality, but people have went, I'm just going to do this on day one. I'm going to do this first run. I'm going to complete the game, or I'm going to glitch my way through the foundation of the house and open the door that way.
Love it. I mean, love it.
I absolutely love it. And to be fair, just to say, 8 years of one man, that's incredible commitment. Probably actually developed too, pre-Gen AI.
Yeah. Like, it's all, you can clearly tell like the influences that he takes from it. It's like very much a tabletop deck building type game put into a 3D walking sim environment as well. The art on it is incredible.
If you look at Tomahawk's recently played, you'll find
it's nowhere near at the minute.
You'll find Blueprints in 11th, which means he played it yesterday. So it really does. He does really dip into it.
You have to stop having my account on a hotkey on your phone. It's getting really concerning.
We have to keep tabs on your Tomahawk. We know what you're like. You know what you've done.
Issues.
I am my own problem. I am my own problem in this instance now. But yeah, Blueprints, this is like a game that has like changed how I see games as a whole be played, and how indie developers and indie gamers can evolve beyond the go and shoot this and go and like, it's like Returnal but with books and stuff. That's how I describe this game.
Love it. Put that the cover for the Game of Year edition.
So
like Returnal but
slap
with
that on.
It's like Returnal, but you're building a house, and that house can sometimes not really go anywhere. The end. 5 stars.
It's random. You gotta love it.
So like I know it's too roguelike for yourself, Luvva, but
I didn't care for it.
I'm at this point where I'm playing it and going, well, let's deliberately put myself in a loop and just see what happens. Let's see what I discover. And the stuff where I spend most of my time not even in the house anymore, because I've got shortcuts into the underground and I'm trying to find stuff that's going on in there now. It just is, it's incredible.
Love it. It's a left field choice, but I love it. Okay, so now it's time for me to crown my Game of the Year, the correct Game of the Year. Gentlemen, you've both come close, but you failed. You followed the last hurdle. My Game of the Year for 2025 is Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Okay.
It is like Blueprints with you, Tomahawk. This isn't even the best game I've played in 2025. It is the best game I have played in an incredibly long time. It is right up there for me, and I'm talking all-timers. It is an incredible experience. And the moment you start this game, it is you just know that this is doing something that is extremely special, and it is just the full package. It looks great, it sounds great, the playing of it is incredible. I have put, I don't know, 20 something hours into this game. I am very close to the paintress, but I'm finding myself diverting purposefully from the main path, because as much as I want to see how this story plays out, I also kind of don't, because I don't want this game to end. And the last time I had that feeling was for Shenmue 2, all the way back in the year 2000. But no, this game has it all. It is an incredibly well-written game. The storyline is compelling. It is mysterious. It is mystery built upon mystery built upon mystery. And the cast of characters, Cardinal, you'd appreciate this. You know, you are our resident RPG expert here, and you know more than anyone here that an RPG lives and dies on the main character and their companions.
The cast.
The cast is one of the most important things. This has one of the best casts of characters I've ever seen in an RPG. Everyone is incredibly well realized. Everyone has motivations. They have a backstory. They share the backstory in little snippets here, there, and everywhere. There is so much density in this unique little game. It is incredible. There's other expeditions that went before you. They leave little journals and you read them. You write your own journal. Everything's totally optional. And it's just, it will change you as a gamer. And which is the highest praise I can give to any game. I am a lapsed JRPG player. I used to love JRPGs, and then they stopped being good. And I picked this up because of the noise that was being made about it all year. And the hype is real. This is a game that has got me back into RPGs. It's incredible.
But that's because they weren't good. I mean, it's not like you grew out of them. They just weren't.
They weren't just good. Stopped good. Appealing at that point. Yeah,
they weren't good. This game's incredible. This game is incredible. It's the only word I can use to describe it is absolutely incredible. I can't say a bad thing about it. The battle system it's not unique. It's very much kind of Super Mario RPG, where it's turn-based, it's tactical. You can link sort of skills and your party around to meet what you need. But it is not a passive battle system. You can dodge and you can parry and you can jump. You will be expected to do all these, sometimes in one combo from an enemy. Reading the enemies is incredibly important. Learning how they move, learning their attack patterns, learning the timings of everything. There's just so much game here. It is crazy. It's not overwhelming. Like, there is a big map, but the map has a fog of war and it doesn't bombard you with icons and logos like an Ubisoft game will. There's a lot of game here, a lot of content, and a lot of stuff that you will miss. I am now on a mission to try and miss as little as humanly possible. When I'm done with this game, I will restart it. This is a game I will revisit probably annually, and it is just incredible. It is one of the best games I've ever played, let alone it's the best game I've played in 2025. Incredible. It's incredible. And all those awards it won at the Game Awards, every single one of them earned. Brilliant. And another indie developer. I mean, this has been the year of the indies.
Oh god, no, absolutely. Like I've been hyped to get my hands on this one now, and I think just the noise of the noise from day one surrounding this game it's one of those things where it's not just hype. It is real.
It is real.
This has changed the landscape of, like, these big 200 dev teams are really kind of having to think about how they make games now. If a team of 32 people can, because that was what it was, 32 people and their dog.
I think they started at 32, but I think by the end it was 60 people who,
But Sandfall effectively were core 32 people and their dog. That was what what made up that team effectively. So I think props to it. They broke away to do something that they passionately stood behind, and it's paid off hugely.
Yeah, it's an incredible story, the Sandfall story, because the games director said, but they just left Ubisoft because of the current climate in Ubisoft, which was Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and they wanted to do something different. But when he left, he said all they had was an idea, but no technical knowledge. And he, after the Game Awards, he thanked certain people in his own social media account, and one of the people he thanked was YouTubers who put tutorials on for how to make games, which is an incredible thing to do. But no, this is a game. I think for a long time, Final Fantasy fans have been begging Square to make a turn-based Final Fantasy, and the answer has always been no, because those games will not sell. This game is the game that Square were frightened of making or just didn't want to make, and they proved them totally wrong, because it is one of the biggest selling games of 2025, and it is the best game of 2025. And for me, it's the distance between first and second is huge.
I just want to say, I really wanted to make Clair Obscur my Game of the Year, but I don't own it, and I was thinking of just saying it anyway, but I can't say that. But I wish I owned it, and that's what by the rules, Christmas is for.
There's just so much to like about it. You'll love it, Cardinal. But yeah, that's my Game of the Year. So Game of the Year is, just to recap, mine's is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Cardinal's, yours was
Void Crew.
Void Crew, and Tomahawk's was Blueprints. And that's it. That is a massive congratulations to those three games, because this is obviously the biggest award you can win on the internet. Huge. Forget those Keeleys. Forget them. They're worthless. But yeah, what a gaming year 2025 has been. It has been jam-packed from the beginning with great games, and it has been the year of the indie, because the vast majority of all of our choices have been in the indie games, and it's great to see. It's great to see, because AAA game development has slowed down to a crawl, and we're waiting a decade in between sequels, and this just proves that if you make a great game, people will come. People will go to it, and they will play it, and they will sing its praises from the rooftops. Do you know what I mean? I mean, all of us have been influenced on at least one occasion this year by people on the internet going, play this game because it's great. and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
100%.
But yeah, that's it. That brings us to the end. That means all we have to do is just wrap up not only the Game of the Year 2025, but also the space year of 2025. It's gone. And that is it, gentlemen. Another episode and another year all wrapped up. It's been one heck of a journey, gentlemen.
Indeed, it's been an odyssey of games in 2025, but the high scores train evidently doesn't stop. And no, we're going to keep going, aren't we?
Yes. 2026 is absolutely stacked full of games, and if you want to know what we're going to be playing, and hopefully we can inspire you of what you're going to be playing in 2026, do not miss next week's episode, which is, of course, our look to the year ahead and the games that we will be playing.
Where I just discuss golf with your friends too.
But yes, that's that's next week's episode. But yeah, 2025 has been great for us. It's been great for games. It's been great for us. And all of that is down to everyone who watches and listens to this. So for one last time in 2025, thank you very much for everything, guys. We love you. We love you. And
Salutes.
And that is it. That just brings us to the housekeeping then. So if this is your first time of listening to us, or your 140 whatever time of listening to us, and you haven't reviewed us, please give us 1 star to 5 stars, whatever you think we're worth. That's what we get. If you want to go one further, a written review feeds the algorithm and tells Spotify or wherever you're listening to this that more people should listen to it because it's worthwhile. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment, because again, all that feeds algorithms and tells YouTube this is a good video. More people should see it. And if you have already done all those things and you want one more thing to do, just hit that share button. Send this episode to a family member or a friend who you think will like it, and get more eyes and ears on us. We appreciate it all. And if this 1 hour-ish episode isn't enough to fill your week, head on over to highstakes.com. There you'll find every episode we've ever done, with little mini reviews of every challenge game we have ever played. It is chock full of content, and there's more coming in 2026. So with all that being said, gentlemen, I have nothing left to say except 2025. It's been lovely knowing you.
Bye.
But I've been Mr. Luvva. This has been High Scores, High Stakes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday. Love y'all. Bye.
Happy New Year.